An accused killer goes undetected for years, to the point this double murder case almost went cold.
Had sex with her.
What made you, okay, I'm sorry, keep going.
She started to stir and I had to have stabbed her.
Prosecutors claim he had been plotting this double murder in an act of revenge, but the case ended in a shocking conclusion. This is Inside the Crime, presented by Law&Crime. I'm Elizabeth Millner. Hey, by the way, there's a reason Law&Crime is the go-to spot for true crime content. Just like there's a reason Morgan & Morgan is America's largest personal injury law firm. They have more than 1,000 attorneys and have recovered $25 billion from more than 500,000 clients. In the past few months alone, a client in Florida received $12 million when insurance offered just $350,000. And in Pennsylvania, another client was awarded $26 million, 40 times the insurer's offer. Morgan & Morgan makes it so easy to fight for what you deserve. You can even start a claim from your phone. So if you're injured, you can start a claim at forthepeople.com/insidethecrime. Click the link below or scan the QR code on your screen. What's interesting about this case is it spanned decades. The murders took place in 1992, over 3 decades ago. The suspect, though, wasn't charged until 2022. But during trial, his defense claimed it wasn't him, even though he was caught on camera confessing to the crimes. The 1992 double murders of Tanna Togstad and Timothy Mumbrue shocked their community in Waupaca, Wisconsin. Around this time, the couple had been dating for less than a year. They were last seen alive on March 20th of that year. That night, they were out with friends before returning back to Tanna's home. Their bodies were discovered 2 days later, on the 22nd. Timothy had been stabbed multiple times and appeared to have put up a fight against his killer. Tanna was stabbed twice. Her beloved dog Scruffy was also killed in the attack. Officials say whoever killed Tanna also sexually assaulted her. But here's the issue. This crime happened back in 1992. DNA testing is not how it is today. So while swabs were taken and stored, there was no link to the killer through DNA for years. And for years, no one was charged with the gruesome murders. 30 years after Tanna and Timothy's deaths, investigators identified a potential suspect. Tony Haase had lived in the same part of rural Waupaca for 30 years following the murders.
We will only use the DNA for this case. It doesn't go in some sort of crazy, database or anything like that. So I'll just.
In July of 2022, officers staged a traffic stop in hopes of getting Tony's DNA. The sample was reportedly taken from a pen Tony used during the stop. His DNA was determined to be a match to fluids found on Tanna's body. Tony was brought in for questioning on August 11th of 2022. However, at this point, he wasn't under arrest, but detectives wanted another DNA sample from him, which he agreed to.
It doesn't hurt, does it? Okay. I'll just do that same thing on the other side.
An hour after the swab, any sense of friendliness was gone.
I'm sure you want to know how you did?
Yeah.
Okay. You did not pass, okay? It was very clear when it came to the questions regarding Tim and Tanna's death that you're lying. So we're going to get this worked out today. That's why we're here. Personally, I believe that's why you came in here today. That's why you agreed to do all this, because I think after 30 years, it's time to get this over. We've talked a lot about your, I guess, not really knowing, not hearing about this case, but clearly we wouldn't have brought you here today if we didn't have information that told us that this is you, okay? That you are involved. Whether or not you're involved alone, whether or not there was someone else there and you just went along for the ride, that's important. That's important for you as far as the future goes. But this is your time, because the reality is we know the answers to the questions we asked, even though we didn't tell you we knew the answers. But what you do from this point forward is going to have a big impact in what happens to you going forward in the future. You have the opportunity to do the right thing now. You continue to deny and lie, and we will show you the evidence that we have. It's not going to look good for you. That makes sense?
Oh, it makes sense. I don't believe that I could have done something like that. So.
Okay, well, are you saying it when you say you don't believe you could have? Is it possible that you were intoxicated and you didn't remember? and you woke up and you said, boy, something crazy happened last night, and I just don't really remember what it was.
That was 30 years ago.
Okay.
I mean,
I'm going to stop you right there when you say that. It was 30 years ago, and I guarantee you, in my heart, just because knowing the man you are today sitting here is not the man you were 30 years ago. There's no way this man could have done what was done in that house. But I don't believe there's a day that goes by that you don't remember what happened in that house that night. I'm convinced of that. You don't put that out of your mind, and that test proved it. It's not out of your mind.
I don't know if I buy that. But
Okay, well, Jay, why did you bring Tony in today?
So, Tony, I told you in the beginning, we have evidence. We're checking against that.
Mhm.
I've appreciated your cooperation.
Mhm.
Okay. There is biological evidence from our scene, and you are a 100% match.
When they tested you for DNA today, they didn't necessarily need to test you for DNA. They already had your DNA. Okay? Your DNA has already been tested, and it's a 100% match.
Tony told the detectives he did remember some pieces of that night back in 1992 when he was in his early 20s.
One thing that bothers me is now and then I do have where all of a sudden, hey, I shouldn't know about that. Or
Like what? Give us an example.
Yeah.
Was there one of the things that I keep coming up with is I puked. 'Cause I had a lot of whiskey in me that night. I puked outside. I remember just thinking about, hey, I puked.
Where did you drink?
All over.
Bars?
Yeah.
But what made you go to Tanna's place that night?
See, that's the thing. I don't have any tie to those people. I don't. The guy, I do not know him from anybody. And like I said, her, the most I would have seen of her was like during a horse and buggy parade or something like that. On a riding her horse.
Was it like you were attracted to her or something?
No. I mean, we had, I had a girlfriend. I mean,
Was that true with the girlfriend at the time?
what do you mean?
Who was your girlfriend at the time?
Jody.
It was Jody?
Mm,
Where was she that night?
She wasn't alone.
You were out alone?
Yeah.
No buddies?
No, I don't remember it. That night is a big blank.
When we look at that,
Right.
we see you, we expect a violent guy. Because it takes a violent guy to commit that crime. You're not a violent guy.
I got a teddy bear of a guy who loves and cares about his family, hard work and dedicated to the company. Loves grandpa, loves mom.
But lost his mind one night.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish I could explain it. I do.
In the fog of intoxication.
Or you know exactly what you did, and you're just going to stick to the story that I don't remember, because somehow that protects you. It protects you from your wife, it
Yep.
protects you from your family. You can continue to say, I don't remember, even though you do remember, Tony. When I asked you the question, did you stab Tim or Tanna in Tanna's house? It was a huge response. It wasn't just like some blip. If you were questioning yourself, it wouldn't have been this huge response. If you were going, I don't know. I've seen response, but not like that. Did you have sexual contact with Tanna prior to her death? Huge response. That happens because you know this stuff to be true. But I think your whole defense, your whole life has been deny, I don't remember it. I think I'm involved, but I don't want to think about it. I'm not. And now, that's going to be your protection.
And I can understand that, going to go through life, to
Yeah.
try to repress it. I really do. Is it now to save face with your wife, honey, I don't know?
There ain't no saving face. I mean,
No, but you know what? It's going to be a lot easier for you to say, I must have done this, honey, but I don't remember, than it would be to say, y'all, here's what happened. I went in the house that night. I got into an argument. I stabbed the guy 27 times and cut his throat. Then I raped the girl and stabbed her in the chest. How would you tell your wife that, right? It's much easier to say,
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't remember it.
Can't be me.
Tony claimed he didn't have bruises after Tim and Tanna were murdered. Remember, investigators say Tim put up a fight, so the killer should have had some marks on them too.
You remember scuffling with Tim. I have no doubt in my mind there's a memory of you with Tanna.
She didn't move a lot.
you said I hit her. You know, somewhere in there, I don't know when that happened.
Okay.
What about the semen?
That's the part that really,
Well, there's probably shame and disgust and everything that you said before, embarrassment, but it's a fact.
Yeah.
So it's just part of the narrative that has to be explained. Did you do this after she was dead? Okay, so she was alive when you were trying to have sex with her? Was she fighting you? Or was she kind of knocked out from the punch?
I don't remember. I don't.
You walked out the door of that room, Tony. There was a dead dog. Tim was dead. Tanna was dead. You walked out of that house and threw up. We need just to fill in a few things that happened in that room. And I think you know what they are. I think you remember them, but you just don't want, I mean, just like before, it's coming slow, but these are the things that are, this is what we've been saying the whole time. Accountability. It's you saying, yes, I did this stuff. I don't know why. I'm ashamed of myself, but I'm taking responsibility for it.
She would have been gurgling for a little bit. So you actually deal with him first, Tim first. Then her.
I think it was kind of at the same time.
Explain it.
Whatever happened, that him and I started tussling. I'm pretty sure she was the one that said, "What the f***," and that's when I hit her.
Okay.
And then I was, fighting with Tim.
Mm-hmm. And then you go back to her.
I must have,
Well, after you hit her, did she stop talking?
yeah,
Yeah, so you kind of knocked her out?
that I don't know.
Well, I would think a guy your size, if you hit a small girl in the face, in the nose, it's going to knock her out. But when you were going to have sex with her, she was alive?
Mm-hmm.
How do you know? Did you have to hold her down?
No.
So how do you know she was alive?
Those are all answers that I don't have. You know, that all is just a blur. I'm being completely
So
candid.
did you leave your semen on her before or after you put the knife through her chest?
Did she start to wake up a little bit?
I'm thinking that all happened about the same time.
Tony initially claimed he had no ties to the victims, but a connection later revealed a possible motive. He told investigators when he was younger, his father died in a snowmobile accident in 1977. Several people were racing down the mountain, and then a terrible collision happened. But what does this have to do with the murders? Well, Tony revealed it was Tanna's father who was one of the snowmobile drivers.
When you walked out of that house, did you know they were both dead? Were you confident they were both dead? Or weren't you even thinking that way?
I wasn't even thinking.
So if you're not thinking they're both dead, when you got up the next day, you had to have been thinking, holy shit, what if they're alive? What if one of them didn't die and they'd say...
Yeah, did you wonder about that?
I don't remember thinking about that, no.
Okay. Because that's bad. I mean, if someone can
ID you,
offer a statement that what happened.
and she knows who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think she recognized you that night?
That I don't know.
Tim didn't know you,
I don't think so.
and you didn't know Tim?
Not at all.
That's true?
That's true.
Okay.
No.
And you don't think she put two and two together, you cold clocked her, and she was kind of out? Go ahead.
As far as what I can remember, yes.
Do you remember any ambient light or light on? That there's a lamp in the bedroom that's tipped over during the scuffle. Do you remember if that was on or off? Do you remember any?
No.
Okay. Don't remember any light.
No.
How you don't remember how well you could or couldn't see?
No.
No. Okay.
And I know I keep asking these questions that really test your memory, but I'm just trying to get the picture in my head. You walk in the house, the dog is barking. How long before you get into that bedroom, or how long after you get into the bedroom, are you in the scuffle with Tim? I mean, are they immediately awoken from the dog?
From what I remember.
So when you walk in, it's game on. They're like, what are you doing? You know, who are you? And you start fighting with them.
Tony was charged with 2 counts of first-degree intentional homicide, but a jury didn't see the case until this year, 33 years after Tim and Tanna's murders. It seemed the prosecution relied heavily on the matching DNA. The assistant attorney general even saying during openings the statistical probability of randomly selecting someone else with the same DNA profile is 1 in 281 quintillion. But not only that, Tony's interrogation was played in front of the jury, so those jurors saw Tony's confession. However, the defense argued the jury should not trust the DNA and fingerprint evidence. The defense argued the evidence was mishandled and inaccurate. Tony's defense team also claimed his confession was false and the consequence of deceptive interrogation tactics. But they did provide another theory, that a family member of Tony's who died in 1995 might have been behind the murders. So who did the jury ultimately side with?
I have 2 verdicts, 1 reading. We, the jury, find the defendant Tony Garrett Haase not guilty of first-degree intentional homicide of Tanna M. Togstad at the time and place charged in count 1 of the information, dated and signed today, signed by the foreperson John Smith. A second reading, we, the jury, find the defendant Tony Garrett Haase not guilty of first-degree intentional homicide of Timothy W. Mumbrue at the time and place charged in count 2 of the information, again dated and signed today.
As you just heard, the Wapaka jurors decided to acquit Tony Haase on both counts of homicide. His bond was dropped immediately, and he was free to go home. A juror on the case told NBC6 in Wapaka they had doubts about the DNA evidence and inconsistent statements made during that 2022 interrogation. As of now, no other suspects have been named as a part of the investigation into the 1992 murders of Tanna and Tim. Thanks for tuning into this episode of Inside the Crime. I'm Elizabeth Millner.